song that I learned once from someone. I don't even remember exactly. Somewhere on Maui. It's based on A Course in Miracles, obviously. Someone came up with it. It has 3 parts. It's cool because it can be done. You can do it as a round. It has 3 distinct parts, which you'll hear. Still as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am still as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory, in the light. I added that last part because of today's lesson. We're on to review number 6 of the workbook. We're going to read through the introduction to the review, then we're going to do the lesson 201. All right, here we go. Paragraph 1. For this review, we take but one idea each day and practice it as often as is possible. Besides the time you give morning and evening, which should not be less than 15 minutes, and the hourly remembrances you make throughout the day, use the idea as often as you can between them. Each of these ideas alone would be sufficient for salvation, if it were learned truly. Each would be enough to give release to you and to the world from every form of bondage and invite the memory of God to come again. Paragraph 2. With this in mind, we start our practicing, in which we carefully review the thoughts the Holy Spirit has bestowed on us in our last 20 lessons. Each contains the whole curriculum if understood, practiced, accepted, and applied to all the seeming happenings throughout the day. One is enough, but from that one there must be no exceptions made, and so we need to use them all and let them blend as one, as each contributes to the whole we learn. Paragraph 3. These practice sessions, like our last review, are centered around a central theme, with which we start and end each lesson. It is this, and this is in italics: I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Paragraph 6. It's not a new paragraph yet. The day begins and ends with this, and we repeat it every time the hour strikes, or we remember in between we have a function that transcends the world we see. Beyond this, and a repetition of the special thought we practice for the day, no form of exercise is urged, except a deep relinquishment of everything that clutters up the mind. It makes it deaf to reason, sanity, and simple truth. Paragraph 4. We will attempt to get beyond all words and special forms of practicing for this review, for we attempt this time to reach a quickened pace along a shorter path to the serenity and peace of God. We merely close our eyes and then forget all that we thought we knew and understood. For thus is freedom given us from all we did not know and failed to understand. Paragraph 5. There is but one exception to this lack of structuring. Permit no idle thought to go unchallenged. If you notice one, deny its hold, and hasten to assure your mind that this is not what it would have. Then gently let the thought, which you denied, be given up, in sure and quick exchange for the idea we practice for the day. Paragraph 6. When you are tempted, hasten to proclaim your freedom from temptation as you say, this thought I do not want. I choose instead, and then you say the thought for the day, or you could probably also put it in your own words. Jesus doesn't say that, but he said it other times, right? That you could put it into your own words, right? I don't choose to think this thought. Instead, I'm thinking this. This is what I'm holding on to, right? This is what I'm keeping in mind, only this in mind. And then repeat the idea for the day and let it, okay, so you say, I choose instead whatever, and then you repeat the idea for the day and let it take the place of what you thought. Beyond such special applications of each day's idea, we will add but a few formal expressions or specific thoughts to aid in practicing. Instead, we give these times of quiet to the teacher who instructs in quiet, speaks of peace, and gives our thoughts whatever meaning they may have. Paragraph 7. To him I offer this review for you. I place you in his charge and let him teach you what to do and say and think each time you turn to him. He will not fail to be available to you each time you call to him to help you. Let us offer him the whole review we now begin, and let us also not forget to whom it has been given as we practice day by day, advancing toward the goal he set for us, allowing him to teach us how to go, and trusting him completely for the way each practice period can best become a loving gift of freedom to the world. That last paragraph is interesting. That's the first time that Jesus has ever, at least in the Course, put anything like that. Like he's giving it now to the Holy Spirit, right? Let's offer this to the Holy Spirit. I don't know if he's ever before in the Course put it that way, quite that way, right? So anyway, here we go. We're going to read through each paragraph. We'll talk about each paragraph. Paragraph 1. For this review, we take but one idea each day and practice it as often as is possible. Besides the time you give morning and evening, which should not be less than 15 minutes, and the hourly remembrances you make throughout the day, use the idea as often as you can between them. Now, this is interesting because Jesus has not been saying 15 minutes, and he hasn't been talking about doing it every hour. In the last 10 lessons or so, he hasn't been giving us a time frame, and now he's bringing the time frame back, right? But the idea here is that you do this as often as you can, right? That it's not about doing it, I'm doing it in the morning, I'm going to do it in the evening, I'm going to do it once or a few times every hour. But really, the whole idea is that you do this all the time, right? So he says, use the idea as often as you can between them, right? So basically, do it as much as you can. Each of these ideas alone would be sufficient for salvation if it were learned truly. Each would be enough to give release to you and to the world from every form of bondage and invite the memory of God to come again. All right, so each lesson really is enough in and of itself. Each lesson appears on the surface to be different. It's taking a different form, but it's really getting at the same exact thing, right? So if you really learned any one of these lessons, it's like a hologram, right? The lesson is like a hologram for the whole thing. And so if you really learned any one lesson, you would be all the way there, right? Paragraph 2. With this in mind, we started practicing in which we carefully review the thoughts the Holy Spirit has bestowed on us in our last 20 lessons. Each contains the whole curriculum, if understood, practiced, accepted, and applied to all the seeming happenings throughout the day. One is enough, right? So you only need one lesson. But from that one, there must be no exceptions made. And so we need to use them all and let them blend as one, as each contributes to the whole we learn. So each lesson really, even though you could say that only one is enough, on the other hand, if only one were enough, then Jesus would give us only one, right? But instead, he's giving us 365 lessons plus the whole text, right? 31 chapters, or however many chapters. I think it's 31 chapters, right? Yeah, it's 31. Pretty sure. I should know that, right? Right, 31 chapters of the text. So it's a lot of words, right? But the idea is that all of these words and all the lessons reinforce each other. They all are synergistic, right? They work together to present a whole picture of what it is, what the Holy Spirit's thought system is. You really only need one, but on the other hand, it seems you don't need only one, because you're still doing this, right? You're still, to whatever degree, we're still in our suffering. We're still in a place of duality, a place of doubt, a place of division, and so we need more than one lesson, right? Paragraph 3, these practice sessions, like our last review, are centered around a central theme with which we start and end each lesson. It is this: I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. So this is the what we use for each lesson, and now the focus is this idea of I am not a body, right? Which Jesus has been talking about all along, but now he's really making it a central focus. I am not a body, right? I am free of all of anything and everything material. I am still as God created me. God can only create like himself. And what is God? God is love. And so love can only create love. So I am the love. And anything that was not made by love, which would be the world of duality, the world of perception, is really not real, right? It's not of God, and yet at the same time, it's not bad. It's not evil. It's really, now I can look at everything in this world of perception, as this world of duality, as a way to bring me back to that love, right? So I don't have to, there are paths that say you need to deny the flesh, deny the world, deny material things. But this is not saying that, right? And so don't think that you necessarily need to give up material things, because then you're going to make the same mistake that other groups and other people have made in the past, which is to deny those things, but then you make them more real when you do that, right? So this path is more to use the body and the material things and the things of this world as a way to release ourselves, so that we don't want to make the mistake of cursing the world or making the world bad and saying it's a bad thing, right? It's God didn't create it, therefore it's bad, it's evil. That's a mistake, right? Rather, we look at everything through the eyes of love and forgiveness, and we don't hold anything against anything, right? And that really is the royal road to getting free, right? Is to not have a judgment. So I'm not a body, I'm free, for I'm still as God created me. The day begins and ends with this, and we repeat it every time the hour strikes, or we remember in between we have a function that transcends the world we see. Beyond this, and a repetition of the special thought we practice for the day, no form of exercise is urged, except a deep relinquishment of everything that clutters up the mind and makes it deaf to reason, sanity, and simple truth. So in a way, this is funny, because Jesus is saying, well, besides just doing this lesson, the lesson for the day, and the special idea, which is I am not a body, I am free, I am still as God created me. In addition to that, you don't have to do anything else except deeply relinquish everything in the way, right? Which means that it's really what he's asking us to do is every moment, because how often throughout the day do we go back into the ego? A lot, right? In our minds. Maybe not in our words, maybe not in our actions, but in our thoughts we do. Right? So that deep relinquishment means that we are vigilant and watching and mindful of our thoughts and mindful of the egoic impulses that will bring us away from what the Course is bringing us to, right? The love and forgiveness that the Course is bringing us to, and the relinquishment of the ego mind. Paragraph 4, we will attempt to get beyond all words and special forms of practicing for this review. For we attempt this time to reach a quickened pace along a shorter path to the serenity and peace of God. It's interesting that Jesus puts in the word serenity. He adds that now. I don't know exactly why he adds the serenity. Isn't the peace of God enough? And he just had a lesson, there is no peace except the peace of God. He didn't say anything about serenity. But I think he's just putting that in there for effect, right? If peace is not enough, because serenity has a different flavor, right? When we hear the word serenity, it's even deeper than peace. It's like to be serene means you're not disturbed by anything, right? You're in a place of equanimity. We merely close our eyes and then forget all that we thought we knew and understood, for thus is freedom given us from all we did not know and fail to understand. In a way, this is an invitation to meditation, right? To closing our eyes and letting go of words, all the words, even the words of the Course, right? Remember at lesson 189 where Jesus says, forget this world, forget this Course. For we attempt this time. Okay, so this now we're trying to go a little deeper, right? We're trying to go a little further. We're trying to let go of even the words, even more, right? Because even the words of the Course can be limiting. Even the words of the Course can be can bring up ideas and thoughts which are in the way, obstacles. And it's really not about the words. It's about what the words are bringing us to, right? Paragraph 5, there is but one exception to this lack of structuring. Permit no idle thought to go unchallenged. He's saying this again, right? If you notice one, deny its hold and hasten to assure your mind that this is not what it would have. Then gently let the thought which you denied be given up in sure and quick exchange for the idea we practice for the day. So, in other words, whenever an idle thought, which was an egoic thought, comes up, a thought that is going to bring us away from that peace and serenity, then we quickly acknowledge it and let it go. And then we replace it with the idea, right? We replace it with, I am not a body, I am free, I am still as God created me. Or maybe just, I am still as God created me. Or maybe just, that's not true, I'm letting that go. I'm going to stay in the presence, stay in the love. So you might think this thought I do not want, I choose instead. I don't think a lot of people would put it that way in their minds, right? They wouldn't say, this thought I do not want, I choose instead. But you might just say, oh, that's not true. Or I'm not going to entertain that thought. I acknowledge that thought is there, but that's not a thought that is worth keeping, or that's not a thought that's worth entertaining in my mind or thinking about, right? So I'm letting it go, and I call this nipping the ego in the bud, right? Because what can happen is if you start to entertain these kinds of thoughts, it will take you away, and then you'll have to get back, right? Once you start getting into the ego, it's kind of like you give the ego an inch and it takes a mile, and you start, you get off on this ego trip, and then you have to get back, right? So it's it's easier to just not let the ego take hold at all. It's not easier though, because it's, that's a practice. That's something that requires mindfulness, vigilance on your part. That you watch your mind, you watch your thoughts, and you recognize the egoic thoughts, and you recognize what thoughts are going to take you away from that peace, right? And you can do this with everything. It's just ask yourself the question: Is this contributing to my peace of mind, or is this taking me away from peace of mind? Right? Is this contributing to peace of mind, or is this going to take away? And that it goes for everything, not just your thoughts, but whatever you do, whoever you associate with. You can ask yourself, what purpose is this serving? Is this serving ego, or is this serving the purpose of uplifting my mind and those around me? So you say, this I do not want, and then repeat the idea for the day and let it take the place of what you thought. Beyond such special applications of each day's idea, we will add but a few formal expressions or specific thoughts to aid in practicing. So instead, we give these times of quiet to the teacher who instructs in quiet, speaks of peace, and gives our thoughts whatever meaning they may have. So the emphasis here is on being in that place of quiet, going beyond words, letting the Holy Spirit speak in a way that the words will come to us that we need. And so Jesus is offering this to the Holy Spirit. Remember that Jesus is the manifestation of the Holy Spirit. So he's not different than the Holy Spirit, but we do tend to think of Jesus as different than the Holy Spirit. We think of Jesus, and then there's the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit is that inner teacher that's inside of me, inside of you, and Jesus is something else. I think the reality is that it's one and the same. But for us, it is helpful to think in terms of that we have an inner teacher, which is the Holy Spirit. But you could also think that my inner teacher is Jesus. It's really not different. Paragraph 7, to him I offer this review for you. I place you in his charge and let him teach you what to do and say and think each time you turn to him. He will not fail to be available to you each time you call to him to help you. Let us offer him the whole review we now begin, and let us also not forget to whom it has been given. I think that is God, right? We're ultimately, this is given, our gift to God, right? God has given us this great gift. And our practice, in a way, is our gift back. So let us offer him the whole review we now begin, and let us also not to forget to whom it has been given. Well, it could also be the Holy Spirit. As we practice day by day, advancing toward the goal he set for us, allowing him to teach us how to go, and trusting him completely for the way each practice period can best become a loving gift of freedom to the world. So we defer to that inner teacher, right? To our inner guide, to our inner guru, our heart, heart wisdom. There's many ways you can put this, but it's that still small voice, right? That speaks for God and God only, right? That is what we're talking about, and that is what we're trying. That voice is the voice we're trying to listen to all the time, right? And not just some of the time, but ultimately, we also will become a manifestation of the Holy Spirit, and we will become that voice ourselves, right? And we will, but we have to first start by listening only to that voice, right? We listen only to that voice, and then we become that, because that's the only voice that we hear anymore, right? Everything else doesn't make any sense. So lesson 201, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. That starts each lesson now of the review. And then lesson 181, I trust my brothers who are one with me. Okay, no one but is my brother, meaning everyone is my brother. I am blessed with oneness with the universe and God, my Father, one creator of the whole that is myself, forever one with me. So all my brothers, everything that seems to be outside of me, and that means humans, but also plants, animals, and everything. Everything is my brother. Everything is myself with a capital S. We all have one creator and one source. And this keeps getting repeated over and over again. I am not a body, meaning I am one with everything, even though it looks like we're all separate bodies. We all have distinct bodies. We're all separate, right? But the reality is we are not our bodies. There is one spirit, and one spirit is really the reality, right? That joins us all together in oneness that we cannot understand as long as we're paying more attention to the duality rather than the reality, which is the unity, right? Not the duality. I'm not a body, I am free, for I'm still as God created me. So the lesson begins with that, it ends with that. And we remember, I trust my brothers who are one with me. Remember that song? I trust my brothers. Right. Oh man. I trust my brothers who are one with me. I trust my brothers who are one with me. All right. So we remember, trusting means that we remember that our brother is ourself, right? Our brother is, even though the appearance may seem otherwise, and you can think about the person that you have the hardest time trusting or believing in or seeing in the light, and you take that person and you say, I trust that you are also Christ just as I am, right? You are the Son just as I am. We are one. Neither of us is any different or better or worse than, we're the same. We're one and the same. I'm going to go back to that song from the beginning. Merry Christmas, by the way. It's Christmas Day. What the Course is getting at is that Christmas is every moment, right? And the sun is reborn in each moment, right? In that remembrance. I am still as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am still as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am in the light, in the love. Enjoy. See you very soon.